All right, we have Victor here with us. How's it going, Victor?
It's going great. Having a pretty good day so far.
Good, good. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Victor Rivera. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I used to live in Austria for 10 years. Uh, Traveled a lot throughout Europe. I'm currently a political science major. That's kind of my passion. One day I want to get into politics.
You think
Um,
about going to law school, maybe?
yeah, if I don't find a job by the time I finish my undergrad, I'm gonna try and go to law school.
Okay, very cool. Anything else about yourself you want to share?
I played a few sports in high school. I played soccer, football, and tennis. Um, Soccer was probably the most fun, the most passionate sport of mine. I played since I was young, and yeah.
All right, perfect. Let me just tell you a little bit about how the format of this interview is gonna go. I'm just gonna tell you a general idea that I have, and I'm gonna see your overall ideas on it, and I'll just get into more specific questions. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So the idea that I have is protein shakes that are infused with THC oil. Now, the reason I think that this is a good idea is because after someone works out, they're going to take their protein anyways. Um, and the reason that people get so sore is the inflammation of their muscles and their joints. And THC has been shown to act as an anti inflammatory, similar to Advil and Tylenol. But the major difference is that those can act as blood thinners and actually end up clotting your blood. But that has not been shown ever with THC. So it's kind of a little bit of a health benefit compared to the other anti-inflammatories. Do you think that there's a potential market for this overall?
I do. I definitely do. For a lot of athletes, that would probably be better than some of the protein shakes that are on the market right now. Uh, might boost your post workout um, gains, so to speak.
Perfect. I definitely agree with that. Um, so you said that you played soccer, football, and tennis, right?
Correct.
So after a long practice, did you feel that you were pretty sore after?
I did.
Um, and then how would you try and reduce this soreness?
I'd probably usually take protein shakes and kind of just rest it out until I start feeling not sore or feel a little better from my workout.
All right. Did you ever try and take Advil or Tylenol or any of those?
Uh, I, Maybe yes. At a point, I tried Advil to see if that would help anything, but it didn't really help at all.
So what THC actually does in the body is it binds to three different kinds of receptors. One of the receptors that it binds to is called opioid receptors, um, and that's kind of what your painkillers like oxycontin and morphine. That's what they bind to, and so it kind of actually binds to the same receptors. So it causes uh, euphoric anti-pain feeling. Um, so I feel like if an athlete took this after their workout, they would certainly feel the reduced stress. Um, so, how have you ever tried stretching to reduce soreness or anything?
Yeah, I
And
have.
how does that work for you?
It tends to ease the soreness a bit.
So, recently there's been a lot of studies that come out that are showing the controversial effects of stretching. Um, Stretching pre-workout can lead to injury because your muscles and your range of motion will go further than they normally can, which is thought to be a good thing. But let's say you're benching and you're benching a lot of weight, like 315 pounds, and when you go down, your muscles stretch past the point where they normally can, and then they can actually tear because they have a greater range of motion, and with that increased weight, it could be forced into tearing. And post workout, your muscles are already really ripped apart. All the fibers are kind of ripped up and torn. So stretching after can actually inhibit recovery by further ripping these fibers. So this is kind of an idea to kind of get around the negative effects of stretching and of Advil. I just think it's another idea that hasn't been utilized enough. Do you um, do you think that there's kind of an overall market for it? You could see it being a little successful.
Yeah, like you mentioned, people do have problems after they work out, feeling extra sore, and stretching, Advil, those things may not be working as proficient as some other products such as this THC infused protein shake could.
Right. It's just kind of like another idea to try and see what will work. Um, um, hold on one second. I just need to take a sip of my water. All right. Thank you for that. So I know that you don't personally suffer from this next need, but a lot of elderly people suffer from like arthritis, which is actually an inflammation disorder. Um, and they also naturally, since they're getting older, their muscles are kind of deteriorating and getting weaker. So I could see it working in this population because the protein shake would kind of reduce the muscle loss that's natural with age, and the anti-inflammatory of the THC can help with the symptoms of the arthritis. Do you think that would be popular in this market?
I think it would, as a society, as we're getting more used to THC being used in various products and being more commercialized and medicalized. I feel like this will also have a greater purpose for the elderly to kind of benefit medically.
Now, I know that a lot of people in the elderly population have like a negative stereotype, negative connotation of marijuana. Do you think that even with um, evidence, scientific evidence showing the benefits of marijuana, do you think that they would be willing to kind of change their perspective on it?
I believe that if there is enough research and enough evidence to show that it is not only used for recreational purposes or such, that it actually does have medical benefits, that if we prove that to the elderly population that has been so against it, it might be able to overturn their opinion and be more effectively used in society.
Now, like I said before, uh, THC binds to the opioid receptors. So a lot of people with lower back pain end up taking like an oxycontin or a different painkiller. And although this works, they're highly addictive. And um, THC also can bind to the same receptors, so it's a less addictive form of it. So do you think that it would also work in like elderly patients with like lower back pain?
I think it would, and it definitely the addiction part of that might be a good point to make to them to kind of compare versus the opioid crisis that we've been having to kind of ease their mind about the influence of marijuana and THC, so to
Now, the
speak.
reason I like THC infused protein shakes is because the THC is giving you a health benefit, and um, people could use THC anyways, but the majority of the negative side effects of smoking marijuana, ingesting marijuana, come from come from smoking it. Now, if it's infused in a protein shake as an oil, people wouldn't be smoking it and therefore wouldn't be getting the harmful toxins in their lungs. So that's kind of why I'm going with this idea for this class. Um, and the next major thing I want to talk about is like, have you ever been like really sore and just like researched on your own like possible means of reducing that soreness?
Yeah, I have, and that's why I found a couple options about stretching or taking some medicine that could reduce the soreness.
Where did you look up this information? Like, was it like a Google search on like bodybuilding.com or?
Yeah, it was a Google search, and I just kind of looked at medical and bodybuilding sites.
Now, do you remember what keywords you searched when doing this?
I believe it was how to relieve soreness.
How to relieve soreness. That all right. That's a great keyword search for something like this. And have you maybe ever like talked to either like your friends or family, people educated on the matter about possible means of reducing soreness?
I have not, no.
No. Well, there's also different. Like in my last interview, I actually interviewed your friend Sean. He was kind of talking about like using mobility, like tennis balls and other things to like roll around on to increase the blood flow, which is a great idea. Um, but for ingesting a supplement, I really haven't found anything that is this twofold where it could increase your muscle mass and it could decrease the inflammation and swelling. So I, I kind of just think that this would be pretty effective in the market. Do you agree?
I would agree so.
Um, all right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, Victor. I really appreciate it.
No worries.